Hi everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. Now, I realise this book tag is technically meant to be done in like September, but I've seen a lot of people doing it recently and I thought I would take part. I actually thought I'd already done this tag. I think I must have done it on my blog like quite a few years ago because it felt so familiar that when I was watching everyone's videos, I was like, I'm sure I've answered this before. But I've checked on my channel, I haven't done it, and a few of you said you'd like to see it, so we're filming it. So this is a tag that was originally created by Ariel Bassett back in 2017, and it's just sort of asking a few questions about your reading towards the end of the year. And the end of the year is like 6 weeks away now, so it's really soon. So why not do it, although a little bit late. So gonna get straight into it. The prompts will be linked down below if you want to do it yourself or have a look at it, but we're gonna go straight through. And of course, as always, both Ariel and this video will be linked in the description as they are the creator. So the very first question is going to call me out, and that is, are there any books that you started this year that you still need to finish? And normally my answer for this is no. Right now my answer for this is absolutely yes. So let's shame me. I've got my Goodreads up and I'm on my currently reading shelf. Do you want to see how many books are on my currently reading shelf? Yeah, here we go. Let's have a little scroll. This is my currently reading shelf on Goodreads. Now, some of these I do not intend to finish before the end of the year. For example, Daisy Jones and the Six and The Starless Sea are both rereads I started in 2019 and still haven't continued with. So that's not a problem for me right now. That's a problem for me feeling guilty and refusing to take them off my list because I'm still determined to finish those rereads. I just don't know when. Maybe one day, but not this year. The next is The Furies by Katie Lowe. I might try and I'm not gonna finish that this year. No. That might have to wait till like next October when we're back in spooky season. I'm not feeling it right now and I don't have enough time to read this many books. The next is the Falling in Love montage. I kind of want to read this one just for the sake of completion. I didn't love the beginning of it, so I did put it down as I was feeling slumpy and didn't want to continue it at the time. But it was gifted to me by Katie at Brightness Katie Reads, and I know a lot of people love it. So I'm definitely going to give it another go at some point. I don't know if it'll be before the end of the year. I would like to, for the sake of completion, get it done before the end of the year. But at the same time, I don't know if it's a top priority for me. Mexican Gothic, I literally read about 5 pages of that. I'm not finishing that this year. That is going to be rolled over to spooky season next year, when I will try again. I've not done well with finishing books, but these are all started within about a week or 2 of each other, right when I was slumping. So that's why I didn't end up finishing them. The next is Kingsbane, very similar. It was right in my slump. I wasn't feeling it. Not gonna read it before the end of the year. I have other books I want to read more and I'm not feeling it at the moment, but I'll get back to it eventually. Briar of the Orange Tree, I started to reread. I didn't finish said reread. I am gonna reread it at some point. Again, not this year. And then the other 4 I am gonna finish. So the first is These Violent Delights. I've only read a very small part of this and I did really enjoy it. I just didn't finish it because the ebook format of the e-arc had loads of formatting issues in it and I found it so difficult to read. So I'm just waiting for my finished copy to arrive with me so I can read it in physical format instead. But that will arrive in like a week, so I will definitely read that before the end of the year. Another one, which I actually have right next to me, is Akamath. I'm gonna read this if it kills me. I'm not feeling it, I'm intimidated by it, but I do think it's one I need to get around to reading and I have started it. I've read the first 100 pages, so I can read another 500 before the end of the year. I'm sure I can, hopefully. The next book is XX by Ryan Hughes. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you will know how many TBRs this has been put on. It is also on my TBR for this month and I am gonna read it. I started this back in September, August, I'm not sure, but I read 35 pages apparently and then put it down. So I'm gonna get back to it, and technically I've started it, but I'm gonna start again from the beginning when I pick it up. And then the only other one on that list is Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellafleur, and that's because it's my current read. So obviously I'm going to finish that one. But yes, those 4, Violent Delights, XX, Akamath, and Written in the Stars are 4 I will definitely get to before the end of the year. And if not, feel free to call me the hell out because those are ones I've been saying I'm going to read for a really long time mainly and still haven't, so I need to. So the second question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you to the end of the year? And I'm going to change this question because in England at the moment we are very much transitioning into winter. We don't get autumn for very long because it just gets cold real quick here, but we're right on that cusp, so like all the leaves are falling but they're not like pretty and orange anymore, they're kind of a muddy brown, and we're starting to get into that proper frosty season, at least where I am. So I'm going to recommend a book which fits that quite well, and it's one I'm actually planning to read anyway, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. For me, this definitely feels like a wintry read, but especially early winter, because this is set in Prague, and if I remember correctly, it is set in Prague in winter, where there's quite a lot of snow, and it feels very atmospheric and very wintry, but not like a polar sort of wintry where it would only work for like the December, January kind of thing. This is that bit more kind of almost autumn, winter, that line, which is right where we're at right now. So not an autumnal recommendation, but a really good recommendation as a transitional book for this time, on the autumn to winter kind of side of things. If you were interested in reading it, I am actually currently hosting a read-along for this series in November through to January, so we're reading this first book this month, if you were interested in taking part. But I will also say The Night Circus, this is a book that I've only ever read in December. I've read it twice, and both times I read it in December, and I can't imagine reading it in any other month. This for me is such like an early winter time book, so not autumnal at all, but I would recommend it for this time of year, honestly. I think it fits it absolutely perfectly, even though I think a lot of this book actually takes place in summer. The next question is there a book you are still waiting for it to release before the end of the year? And my answer is actually kind of no, not really. With it being, what, the 14th of November when I'm filming this, there are really not very many books being published before the end of the year now. Very few books are published in December due to it being Christmas time, and so there's a lot that I'm waiting for in January and stuff, but not really any right now. I guess the only one I'm really waiting for is These Violent Lights by Chloe Gong. As I mentioned, I had an e-arc, struggled with the formatting, waiting for my physical copy. My physical copy should come in like 3 days now, so I guess I'm technically still waiting for that one to be released, though I could read it right now if I wanted to. But other than that, I don't think there are any other new releases I'm going to be buying before the end of the year, which is really strange as I buy quite a few each month, but there's just not a lot publishing in November and December, it seems. The next question is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? And I'm not going to talk about the ones that I've already spoken about. Obviously I want to read those, but they're just ones I need to get finished. So I am actually going to talk about the start of a few series, and should I be starting more series right now? Absolutely not. But I'm going to. So the first is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. As I've mentioned, I really enjoyed Priory by her, so I do want to read The Bone Season, and the 4th book in this series does actually come out at the end of January. So my hope is to read this and hopefully its sequel in December so that I can read the 3rd book and the 4th book in January. That is the hope anyway, we will see if it happens. But yeah, The Bone Season is definitely a book I want to read before the end of the year. I know very little about it. I know it follows Paige Mahoney. I think it has clairvoyance. I think it's set in London. It's Seven Dials, which is actually a place I've been to, and it's really beautiful, but I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited to read more Samantha Shannon in a genre I love even more, which is like dystopian, fantastical. So excited, and I need to catch up with the series before the 4th book comes out. The next book that I really want to get to is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. If you've been following my channel throughout this year, you will know I read 2 of TJ Klune's books. I read The House in the Cerulean Sea and The Extraordinaries, and I absolutely adored both. So I'm really, really excited to continue with more of his books, and Wolfsong is the next one I want to read, the Green Creek series, which has just completed with its 4th book. So I really, really want to read it. I've been putting this off since like September, and I don't know why. I think I'm kind of scared to pick it up in case I don't like it, because I've loved his books so far. So like I want to keep liking them. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't like this. It's gay werewolves. Like literally I'm going to love this book. But I've been a bit nervous, so I'm definitely going to try and myself start it in December, and it feels like quite a wintry book for some reason with werewolves, so hopefully I'll read this in December. And then the 3rd one, a start of another very popular series, is The Bear and the Nightingale, which is the first book in the Winternight series, I think. I've wanted to read this series for a really long time, not got around to it because when do I ever, but actually Amber from Books and Amber was looking to buddy read some books in December, and this was one of them, so I put my name forward and we're going to buddy read this, I think possibly with Kerry as well. And yeah, we're going to buddy read this to take me finally reading it. There is also a Winternight trilogy read-along happening in November through to January, which is hosted by Meg at Meg with Books. So if I love this in December, I may try and catch up and join the December and January live shows for that, as obviously I won't be ready for the November one. But I might give it a go because I think I'm going to love this series. And again, this is a thoroughly wintry series. So the next question is, do you think there's a book that you might read before the end of the year that could shock you and become your favourite book of the year? Realistically, I doubt it, actually. I am excited for a lot of the books I'm still going to read. For example, like The Bone Season, I'm pretty sure I will love, and I think it'll become a favourite. But I'm just trying to think of like the books that I've really loved this year, and there's only maybe 2 or 3 that really, really stand out above like everything else. And I think it would take a minor miracle for anything else to usurp those, so I doubt it. I really doubt it. I mean, The Betrayals, I'm really looking forward to XX. I think I'm gonna love. The Bone season, as I said, I think I'm going to love, but I don't think they're gonna take that top spot. So I think my top spot for the year is probably already decided. And then the final question is, have you already started making plans for 2021? Have I? Of course I freaking have. I have no self-control. I've probably got my TBR planned for most of the year if anyone will let me. Yes, I've started making plans for 2021. I already have a good idea of what series I want to read in January. I've been keeping track of when releases are coming out and when I'm going to read them. I've been keeping track of when like continuations of series are coming out, so when I need to finish them. I also kind of read seasonally, but in a very like conscious way. So I have a couple series which really feel like January books. So I'm gonna try and get through those in January if I can. So yes, I absolutely have started making plans. Also, for a book club I host, the FAES and Gaze Book Club, we have already picked our books for the first 3 to 6 months of 2021. If you keep an eye on the Twitter to see when they are announced, if you want to know what we'll be reading. So of course I already know what I'm reading for that. So yes, I already have plans. I already have specific series I know I want to get to as like projects next year. And so much. So like, for example, Brandon Sanderson, I really want to do some catching up on. So that's going to be a project for next year. It was meant to be this year. My reading slump kind of screwed that. But things like that. So yes, I have started making plans. I am sure I will have a video coming in a month or two, which is explaining my reading plans and my reading goals for 2021. I don't know what my goal in terms of number of books is going to be yet, because I set it low this year. I set it at 72, which isn't low, but it was lower than I'd done the previous year, because I knew I had to finish my degree and would likely start a job. All of that changed with COVID, so I've actually read over 100 books already. So I don't know what my number's going to be for next year. I am starting a job and it will be extremely hectic, and I want to keep up with YouTube. So I may have to go really low with it, but I don't know. I also will have quite a lot of evenings free due to the nature of my job, so we will find out, I guess. But that is all the questions. I love this tag. It is making me panic about how much I need to read before the end of the year though, a little bit, as well as really excited for 2021 because there's big things coming and it's just exciting. But that's kind of it. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. Comment down below what books you need to get to or books that you've like already started and not finished, because I need to feel less alone in my like 11 book long currently reading list because I'm feeling really guilty about it. All my other social medias, book clubs and read-alongs are linked down below in the description like they always are. But that is it for this video, so bye and I'll see you in the next one.